This is the Orioles Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Baltimore Orioles. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa. That is the leading line of resentment among Baltimore Orioles fans, as the losing streak is now a streak. It hits 3 games in a row as the Baltimore Orioles have dropped 3 games to the Cleveland Guardians. Good evening. Happy Wednesday. Hope you're safe. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're surrounded by loved ones and enjoying what you can of this baseball season and this endless summer. Final score tonight from Cleveland: the Guardians 3 and the Baltimore Orioles 2. As always, this is the Baltimore Orioles postcast immediately following every Baltimore Orioles game. I am Luke Slabaugh. I am your O's host on the Locked On Podcast Network, specifically for the post-game show. The Orioles fall to 12-12 in one-run games, something they had prided themselves on in May and June. They're on a 3-game losing streak, and they're now 13 games under 500 as this season starts to go into a tailspin. Not start to go into a tailspin, but gets back into the swing of things. The O's in free fall, and not at a good time. They had a chance to make a statement out of the All-Star break, and that statement was... But first, we're going to get to something that just comes down to really bad baseball, and it is the lack of execution on the base paths. O's hadn't run into a ton of outs this season, but they really shot themselves in the foot tonight in what ultimately proved to be the difference in a one-run baseball game.
This is what you'll be talking about.
The O's got off to an auspicious start at the plate. Their first 4 trips against right-hander Slade Cecconi, they had the leadoff man on, and that's a good catalyst, a good spark plug for any offense to get the leadoff man on. You're cooking with stuff. Unfortunately, in the first 2 innings, that resulted in double plays. Westberg grounds out into a double play. The first pitch after Jackson Holliday works a beautiful 7-pitch at bat and gets a free pass. Same in the second. Ryan O'Hearn hits a changeup up the middle for a single. Colton Cowser ends the inning on a double play ball. Such is life. But we go into the third, and Ramon Urias getting the start today at third base, I guess in an attempt to keep Kobe Mayo on the bench where he belongs. My goodness. Ramon Urias walks. Should he be starting in this lineup in mid-July with the season seemingly out of reach? No, unless they're trying to flip him. Cedric Mullins, then with perhaps his best at-bat or best piece of hitting that we've seen in weeks, gets way out on his front foot against a curveball from right-hander Slade Cecconi, but keeps his hands back and is able to dump this ball into the right field corner right up against the wall for a double. Amazing. Runners in scoring position, second and third, with no outs. And unfortunately, the 9-hole hitter is up, and that means it is an Orioles catcher. 5th stringer, Jacob Stallings. Save for a couple of good hits in Atlanta, he has been good for nothing but outs. Can't hit the ball as hard as he used to back in his heyday with the Pirates or with the Rockies. This is infuriating. A tapper to third baseman Jose Ramirez. There's no outs. Urias is off on contact and goes in without a slide. He is hung out to dry. Ramirez to catcher Bo Naylor, and it's an easy fielder's choice 5-2 putout. A couple of things make this so bizarre. For one, you have 2 runners in scoring position with no outs. The contact play is not on. This is baseball fundamentals. Unless that ball is hit hard up the middle, you do not have to run home. There's not 2 outs. There's not a force play. If you're Ramon Urias, you're parking it. And in fact, if it's hit to your side of the field and hit mildly, lukewarmly, freeze, retreat, everybody clap your hands. No, he gets hung out to dry. The second thing that sticks in my craw about this is Cedric Mullins does not advance. So on a 5-2 fielder's choice, you're in double play trouble either way, next batter, but you would rather have runners on the corners move up 90 feet and be able to perhaps score on a sacrifice fly or another piece of hitting rather than leaving that to chance. Mullins doesn't advance, and even worse, next plate appearance in that inning in this sequence, he is hung out to dry on a pickoff play. Ciccone steps off the rubber, throws it to Brian Rocchio, who then tosses it to Ramirez. On the flip, he catches it and tags out Mullins. An inning completely avalanches into nothing. Two base running blunders back to back. It is the epitome of the Baltimore Orioles in 2025. Haven't seen a lot of infuriating base running blunders from the O's, but this one costs you a run, maybe two, and proves the difference in a one-run ballgame. The O's make up for it in the next inning. Jordan Westburg doubles off the left field wall, a ball that probably would have been out in most major league ballparks. He leads off the inning well. Gunnar Henderson then, up 3-0 in the count, gets a high fastball. Delectable. Can't keep his hands off it. Immediately pounds it into the ground for a weak ground out. Launch angle of negative 80 degrees as far as I'm concerned. Don't care about the exit velo. He makes an out that is most regrettable. Unfortunately, Ryan O'Hearn picks him up, hits a sac fly to left field, and gives the Orioles a 1-0 lead in this game. In the top of the sixth, trailing 2-1, Jackson Holliday, first pitch slider, knocked into the right field stands for his team-leading 14th home run on the year to make it 2-2. Unfortunately, the O's could not hang on as they handed things over to the bullpen.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
And we will touch on the return of Zach Eflin in the second block. Just, if you're tuning in right now, Orioles postcast. First impressions, he was fine. Zach Eflin pitched fine. Had a little bit of a leash on him, only went 5 innings. But we go to the bottom of the 8th, 2-2 ball game. Right-hander Colin Selby is on in relief, age 27, and starts off cooking. Gets Daniel Schneemann to fly out to center field. Mullins making the catch. That's 7 batters retired by the O's bullpen in relief of Zach Eflin on 24 pitches. Rocchio then flies out to Colton Cowser in left field. So Colin Selby is cooking. But like Brandon Young, when things start going into overdrive, when you're on the precipice of success and you're just about to close out an inning, things start to spiral. He's ahead 0-1 in the count to Bo Naylor. And this is actually a pretty good pitch. Sinker down and in at 96. And Naylor hits a double to left center field, all the way to the wall. Kind of sliced it the other way. Didn't quite inside out it, but dropped the head of the bat on the baseball. And you know who's up next, top of the order? Leadoff hitter Stephen Kwan. Ahead in the count, 2-1, gets a knuckle curve at the knees. He pokes it into center field for a base hit to give the Guardians a 3-2 lead. Cedric Mullins came up with that ball pretty quickly, good exchange, and fired it home. He kind of short-hopped Alex Jackson at the plate and skidded away so he couldn't catch it. It was a bit offline. Throw wasn't going to result in an out. But it's 3-2, and that's the final score of this game. Coming up, we'll touch on Zach Eflin real quickly. I'll hear from some of you in the comments section here. This is streaming live on YouTube as always and on demand wherever you get your podcasts for free. This is the Locked on Orioles postcast. I'm Luke Slabaugh. I want to say thank you for tuning in here on this Wednesday night. Stick with us. We'll be right back. It was good to see Zach Eflin back in the rotation. He had really been spiraling with some lower back injuries to this point, and for most of the day, kind of looked like that fringe 2-3 starter that we have wanted to see. Let's see if this ad copy will pull up. Here we are. This show is brought to you by Monarch Money. If you ever wish your managing of money felt easier, it can with Monarch Money. If you're growing your savings like I am or planning a big purchase, Monarch Money puts you in the driver's seat. It's like having your own personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. It's more than a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So, in addition to managing your money, you're also building wealth. And me in particular, it comes down to paring down the subscriptions. I think my generation in particular, the millennials and people a little bit younger than us, these stack up. The life changing apps for $9.99 a month, and then you get too many, you're out of control. Really need to take control of our personal finances. But that's just my personal opinion that sometimes we run amok. Thanks to Monarch Money for helping me run the straight and narrow. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code Locked On MLB. That's all one word. Locked On MLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code Locked On MLB for half off your first year. Thanks to Monarch Money for sponsoring the show. The O's find another way to lose. If you haven't thought about taking up smoking, now's your chance. Let's talk about right-hander Zach Eflin. Looked fine. And for the first few frames, unhittable. Retires the first 9 Guardians he faces, fresh off the IL with lower back discomfort. 1-2-3 first inning, gets Jose Ramirez on 3 pitches. Bottom of the second, records his first strikeout. Gets Kyle Manzardo on this front door cutter. Nasty break action to it. Things are looking really well. Got Ryan O'Hearn involved, a couple of ground balls to the first baseman. Really good PFP, pitcher's fielding practice. And yeah, he is cooking. Got Bo Naylor to strike out on a fastball high to end the third. The only trouble that Eflin ran into was in a strange bottom of the fourth. After only throwing 39 pitches in the first 3 innings, seemingly cruising and en route to a quality start, the O's best trade chip ran into some problems in the bottom of the fourth. Starting with Stephen Kwan, pesky, well-loved Guardians staple. Can do it all. He can hit, he can run, he can play really good defense, and he works a darn good at bat. Walked a few times the other night. And Kwan sees 9 pitches and works a well grinded out plate appearance for a walk. So the rhythm of this inning is already thrown off. Basically, if you're trying to get a pitcher to throw 20 pitches in an inning and max him out, you're already halfway there. Then he gets Angel Martinez to strike out on a curveball in the dirt, seemingly back on the straight and narrow. Jose Ramirez at the plate. Eflin's ahead in the count 0-2 and leaves a curveball hanging, but not particularly high. It's a well-placed pitch down below the knees. And Ramirez, with a great hit tool, he's way out in front of it. Hits it down the right field line, and the Guardians have runners at second and third with 1 out. Eflin then gets ahead of Kyle Manzardo 1-2, and then he misses with his fastball location. Just the one time. Fastball up and in results in a base hit, a floater to left field. Manzardo drives in 2. It's a 2-1 ball game. Eflin gets Carlos Santana to strike out on a breaking ball down, and then gets Nolan Jones to fly out to Ramon Laureano in right field to end the inning. A 30-pitch affair as the Guardians grinded down Zach Eflin in just this one frame. Otherwise, he was back on track. That next frame, he goes 1-2-3. Gets Daniel Schneemann to strike out on a curveball low. Good for his 5th strikeout of the game. Gets Rocchio to ground out to Jordan Westberg. And then Bo Naylor flying out to Gunnar Henderson to end the frame. 5 innings for Zach Eflin. 2 earned runs, only 2 hits allowed, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. Walks do kill as that one to Stephen Kwan comes around to score. It's 84 pitches for Eflin, probably had a short leash given his return from the injury list and his struggles with injuries throughout this season. It's been uncharacteristic for Zach Eflin. And if this was his last time pitching in the orange and black, majority of his time as an Oriole was pristine. Had a great string of quality starts there. He had that 15 start streak, giving up only 3 earned runs or fewer. So it's sad to see him go, if that is the case. Or maybe he'll be here. Who knows? And the bullpen did pick up Zach Eflin pretty well, other than Selby in the 8th. I see some comments there. Yennier Cano, Andrew Kittredge, doing what they do best. The O's carry on. They will look to avoid getting swept in this 4-game set by the raging hot Cleveland Guardians. and it is in the hands of right-hander Charlie Morton. He is coming off an absolute stinker against the Rays out of the All-Star break. And his counterpart is left-hander Logan Allen. That is a 1:10 first pitch on Masson. So early afternoon game. I'll be here breaking it down 2.5 hours after first pitch. And I invite you to join me here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Final score tonight, the Cleveland Guardians 3 and the Baltimore Orioles 2. Good night, stay safe, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow night.